Okay, so this is my vegetable oil van, runs on waste vegetable oil. It's a Ford Econoline, and I'm not editing this video. I'm just trying to get you the general idea of what's happening here. So I'm gonna try to get this is a grease cabinet where I suck the vegetable oil out of. See if you can get a good picture on that. I built that into here. Oops. That. And so anyway, you can fast forward through stuff that whatever, because I don't have time to make a first class video. I'm just doing this for educational purposes. So these are nitrile gloves that I got from McMaster-Carr. Nitrile is better than rubber. Rubber will melt with long term or several weeks even exposure on vegetable oil, and like that. And this is a hose also I got from McMaster-Carr. You want these nice bendable hoses if you don't have space like I don't. And let me just see if you're catching this here. Yeah, right. So and then this is also nitrile hose. It's about $2 or $3 a foot. It's about 40 feet worth of hose here. And I put these quick disconnects on it. Like that, and this goes into the dumpster like that, and I can see what I'm sucking up with this clear hose, which is also available, or this clear pipe, which is also available on McMaster-Carr. And then right here, this is a mesh screen. You see that? Yeah. So that I can, I think that's 30 mesh or 50 mesh or micron, I forget. And you can, so I don't suck up any crap that I don't want in there, and it also prevent me to suck up too much really thick stuff. And because my onboard processing system can't digest that type of thick stuff. And then I just flick a switch right here. I don't know if you can hear that, my pump going. Like that, and it sucks it up into the tank, which is mounted under there, which we'll get to in a minute. Like that. And that, and you want these, there's a gasket right in here. Well, you don't want to look in that, it's kind of nasty, but there's a gasket right in there that locks that in place. So you want to make sure that you never lose that little gasket there. And you want to get the EPDM, I think it's called. E elephant, P like Paul, D like David, M like Mary gasket. That one will be more resilient for the vegetable oil as opposed to the Buna N. Buna N, N like Nancy, is not so good. For the Buna, there's different grades of it. And so anyway, these are really good gloves, and they have a little fuzzy lining on the inside like that, so your hands don't like sweat, and you know, it's a tiny little bit of insulation in the winter, like right now, a little cold out. And then down here, if you can see, that's the pump I use. It's a 1604 Fill-Rite, Tuthill Fill-Rite pump. That I have welded these brackets in here. It's just a piece of rebar. Somebody's inside cooking. And so anyway, this is a rubber thing, and right here is a little rubber to deaden the vibration, and zip tied it in. That's pretty much it. And then that connects to, there's a hose, some hoses you can't really see in there, which go over into this. Right there, you can kind of see the hose going into that shelf. And this is the tank right there, if you can kind of see that tank there. You can see I put insulation on that board insulation has a foil. You can see down there it's ripping off a little bit. I need to tape that up, but anyway, and then you see the cross, you can kind of see the cross cradle I built for it. That just bolted into place, and that was a mess trying to angle that so you can see it perfectly fits in there. And then right here, there's these Fumoto oil drains, and you can see there's a little spot right here because I did this video already and my camera wasn't recording. But anyway, you can drain off, you can tap the thing using that Fumoto oil drain, you know, real easy. And you can see that's pretty good oil right there I got last night. I was on my drive, and so anyway, here's that switch that I switched. It's really nasty, but you can see the switch right there. Kind of, it's, you know, anyway, thousands of gallons of vegetable oil or whatever through that. And then this is the tank on the other side right here. You can see the brackets and how I put like that great stuff fill to fill these gaps because so much cold air is going on that. And here's this Fumoto oil drain. I can get a good shot at that. I just tap this. See, this is the lowest end of that tank. This corner right here is the very lowest end, and so all the water and ooga booga boogers will come out. And then I just do a little tap it out, and then like that. See, it's washing inside the car, cooking, so there's a little water from the cooking process. But anyway, that's the lowest end. These are really nice little Fumoto low profile oil drains like that are used for usual oil, and it says it's F-U-M-O-T-O or something like that. And here's my, over here is my centrifuge pump. This is a 12-volt Leeson, if you can catch that. Kind of, sort of. I had a hose explode due to some experiments I was making that failed miserably and spewed vegetable oil all over here and covered this whole thing with vegetable oil, as you can see. And this is a Isuzu 1986 or 1989 rather, Isuzu 1989 power steering pump, Isuzu Trooper, and that seems to be working for me, and like that. And like this, I originally had several different things, other types of pumps, but this is heavy duty. This is an overkill pump. This is like a 3/4 horsepower pump. You only need like a 1/2 horsepower pump, I think, to power that centrifuge. And let's go inside and look at the inside of that. So custom built this whole thing on the inside for living quarters and storage and all types of stuff. And so, oh yeah, so let's do this whole thing. So this is, you can see on the top, it, this is a deck and such like that I built in here. And this comes out so that if there's ever any explosion in here, like happened a little bit last night, I spilled something, it'll just come out this little weep hole I built and then go out here, and you can see there's a little oil dripping out last night because I made a mistake. I just spilled something there. So here we go. This is the Dieselcraft OC50. I used to have an OC20, but I wore it out after 200,000 miles of vegetable oil running. And you can see everything's really tight. Just a little bit of tools and stuff in here, and containers with spare parts and stuff. But you can see my crazy system maybe in here. This is a pressure gauge. So I can see on the bypass, that's the bypass right here, that lever right there that I'm tapping on is for the bypass to adjust the pressure, and get that out of the way so you can see the configuration here. You got in the front a 3-way ball valve coming up from the power steering pump that powers a centrifuge, going straight across. When this lever is in this position, it goes straight across into the OC20 diesel, the OC50 Dieselcraft centrifuge, and then goes back down and through this 3-way ball valve in case I ever just want to see exactly what's coming out. Then I flick this, I cut it short, so well, I haven't used it for a while, so that is a little stiff. But anyway, I cut the handle off there so it doesn't get in the way. Goes back, recirculating into the dirty tank, and then I just that same setup here, that same pump and motor, I just flick this 3-way ball valve like that, and then it goes through here and makes a right turn going up into this, which is a bag filter, aluminum bag filter, right here. This is the top of it, right here, if you can see that. And I have a shelf I built here. And, so you can see the top of it here, and kinda, hope you're getting that. And this is a broken gauge, that's why it says 80 psi. It doesn't have any psi in there right now, but the gauge is broken, I need to return it. And so we can turn this on. I have a little switch right here. I have, can you see that switch? There, you can kind of see it right there. Oh crap. There we go. And so now it's centrifuging, but the oil is extremely cold, so you're not going to be able to hear the centrifuge going. And so anyway, and this is the for the buzzer. So now when I suck up the oil out of the dumpster, how do I know when that tank is full, right? So I installed a fuel level sender gauge that has an inch from the top of the thing a buzzer on it, so that when it hits that level of 1 inch from the top of the tank, I have a buzzer hooked up to it when I turn that switch on, and that's how I know I'm getting full, because I want it an inch from the top so that I can have room to clear the suction hose, which we discussed at the beginning of this video over here, you know, in my little suction hose cabinet. Clear out what's in there, and going into the tank and clean all that out. And I've timed it to a matter of, you know, seconds. I just count the seconds once that buzzer goes off according to the angle of the hill I'm on, because of course that'll change the angle of the level inside of the tank. And then I just come back here and, you know, turn off my buzzer, and you know, that way I know it's full. And yeah, that's pretty much that. And so then I have another tank. So after this is done recirculating, I just recirculating the oil through this OC50 centrifuge, which I need to clean here. It's getting pretty full. But anyway, then I just flick this one ball valve down here, which I showed you from the bottom, right here, that front ball valve, and then it comes up this hose instead of through the centrifuge and then back recirculating into the dirty tank. I put that valve that goes up through to here into this bag filter and out the other side here. Where's the other side at? Oh, down on the bottom. And then that comes up. You can see right here, this is the hose that comes out the bottom of it and goes towards the front of the vehicle. I cut the hose here by accident once when I was doing some tweaking. That's why that goofy thing is there. Disregard that. So anyway, it goes up to the front tank that I drive the vehicle off of, the clean front tank, whereas this is the back dirty tank. And this contraption here, right here you can see this this hose coming out of the base plate of the OC20. Now that is for drainage purposes, if anybody knows about plumbing. You need some drainage because this is a sealed unit. Because we're inside of the vehicle, we have to have everything sealed. So when it's pushing the oil through the oh, that's a little loose, I need to tighten that up. Anyway, when it's pushing the oil into this OC20 centrifuge and then draining it out, it needs some way so it doesn't create a vacuum in there and then just fill itself up with oil instead of having an air and it just falling free flow into the dirty tank. So therefore we have this air, this hose going out into environmental air, atmospheric air pressure right here, so it can suck some atmospheric air in here and drain properly into the dirty tank. So that goes, you can see I just drilled this hole directly into the center through the base plate and then tapped it with a tap set and then threaded it and put that barb fitting on it right there. And this goes up into this big 1-inch ID hose. These are all nitrile hose, high nitrile content, not low nitrile content, so it'll actually resist the oil, the degradation of the oil on the rubber. So that's a 3-way T, a plastic, nylon. This is made of nylon. Nylon is also good for vegetable oil resistance. And sorry about all these angles, you're probably getting dizzy while I'm flying this camera around. So anyway, a 3-way, and then I just had added the small, this is a 1/2 inch ID, and this is a 1 inch ID right here. And this goes, it tees off, one end coming out this way goes towards the front tank as a vent for the front tank, because the front tank is inside the vehicle, and so we don't want to vent it on the inside of the vehicle in case I overflow that tank. Then that oil is going to come out the vent into the inside of the vehicle. We do not want dirty oil in our vehicle. So we have it, this vent tube going all the way to the front tank, through the vehicle, out, up through the panel of the wall. This is all in here, and out that vent on the outside of the vehicle. I just made as a elbow, iron pipe elbow with some what do you call that, instant quick steel stuff, putty, and then painted it nicely so it doesn't see very well, and that no one can see it so well as it's there. And then it tees on the inside of this column right here. This tees off, and right here on the inside of the vehicle it tees, and one end goes towards the front of the vehicle, clean tank, and then also that tee I just showed you going down to the centrifuge vent, and then the other end of that tee, that 1 inch tee, goes down through here behind this light here. If I were to take this off, you could see all my crazy plumbing and wiring and insane amounts of work and planning of many years. And then it goes down through here. Where is it? It's right here actually. You can see right here I cut out that section because that's where it tees down into and goes, and this is a vent right here for the tank. And oh no, I'm sorry, that's the vent right there. That's the vent tube right there for the tank. Right there, that's the vent for the tank, for the dirty tank, going up into that area right here where I showed you before. And then that's the drain for the centrifuge. That's why that's insulated with what's that stuff called? That stuff's called fiberglass pipe insulation, which is difficult to find. Most people are trying to get away from fiberglass, but it's great insulation. It insulates wet or dry. And then I wrapped it with foil tape, and that goes returning back into this tank over here. Sorry, everything was on a crooked angle there. Like that. And that is the drain for the centrifuge right there. That's if in case I just want to drain directly it out and not return it to the tank. That's that drain just coming out, and I can put a jug or whatever out there if I want to test the oil and the quality of my draining. See directly. So like that. And I guess that's pretty much the whole setup. What else can I say? I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah, then I also made a, this is my, Dieselcraft, I mean not Dieselcraft, this is the Biofuel Technologies, it used to be whatever they called it, veggie stroke system, and I built for my filter, I built two different things. Let's see if I can get a good angle on this. This is okay, so I forgot to include, this is my dash here. You can see that's the gauge for my dirty tank right there. It's not running, so everything's empty. And that is the, it's when my engine is running, that light stays illuminated just to tell me my, what is it called, Sure Power battery separator is working correctly. And this is a switch for the heater on my Donaldson filter on my V3 Biofuel Technologies system. When I flick that on, I have a light that comes up on my dash like that to remind me that it's on, and I don't forget it that it's on. And I only keep that on while I'm warming up the engine to get the oil inside of that filter to get hot, and then once it's hot and I'm driving around, I turn it off so I don't waste electricity unnecessarily. or burn that thing out because they're expensive. This is a switch so I can control the sorry, there's somebody cooking in the back of the vehicle, so you can hear knife choppings and other type of sounds. Anyway, this is a switch that controls the centrifuge running. So you can turn that on and off. I can turn that on when I'm driving, or off at any given time from the driver's seat. And this is my vegetable oil system here, controlling the vegetable oil system, V3. And this is my clean tank right here, gauge. And this is my, what is it called? The injectors, the chip for my injectors with different settings. I put that cool copper thing, and eventually I'll put little tags on there indicating what each thing does when I get the engraver tool, borrow from my friend. But anyway, and this is my tow thing, of course, and that is my fuel pressure for either diesel or vegetable oil gauge, and that is the gauge for the pressure on my centrifuge. I have a pressure sender back there on my centrifuge, so I can at all times see what my centrifuge is doing, what type of pressure we're going, and also when I transfer the oil, when I flick that ball valve to transfer the oil from the back tank to the front tank, when that bag filter gets clogged, it will continue to build pressure and build pressure until ultimately the basket that the bag is in explodes. If it goes above like 200 or whatever psi. So once it gets up to about 100 psi, I go back there and change it so I can always see what's going on in real time while I'm driving down the road with my centrifuge system, or if I lose pressure or whatever it's going on. Like that. Usually I keep it about 80 psi. I like to keep right around there while I'm centrifuging. And of course when it's transferring, there's not going to be much pressure unless there's some restriction in the bag filter. This is, I forget what you call it, but an amp meter. But it's there's a little thing, we'll go out there and I'll show you what that's hooked up to. And that, it tells me, you need something like this to tell when the back tank is empty, so that that gives me the amperes or whatever. It's old, it has, for some reason it's reading a little bit of pressure, a little bit of amps right now, even though there's nothing going through it. So I'll just flick this switch down here, and you can see now it's building up a little bit of pressure gradually. So anyway, that is reading a gauge. I forget what it's called. Ooh, it's all wet here because we were cooking. But, oh, it's over here. So, let's see if we can see my whole contraption. These are my batteries. Right here, you can see my battery panel down here. I got 3 of them down here. My engine battery. I moved over here because I have my propane tank over there where the engine battery normally is, so I moved it over here and welded up those brackets to hold it all together. And you can see that, and built that little shelf right there to hold like filters and stuff like that. One over there as well, you can see right there. And here is my electrical system. Let's try to get a good angle on this if we can. This is my hub right here of all the, it actually looks like it's a little loose. I'm going to tighten that up. Anyway, the box where all the batteries link together and everything, and that's just a copper sheet, a thick copper sheet. It's been really bad winter and it's all full of crap. I need to clean it all off. And that's my, if you can catch back up in there, that is the Sure Power battery isolator thing. These are fuse, temporary disconnect fuses right here, automatic disconnect, what are they called? Circuit breakers. So as a fuse thing. And I soldered all that, so although it's all corroded on the outside, on the inside it's really good. That's just the ground. And that's what I was talking about up front. That is the, well, that part right there is for that amp meter. I forget what that thing is called. That's the sender unit for the amp meter. And that's like that. So, and that's the switch there that turns, that links everything together, the power for my centrifuge that's connected to the dash up front. I forget what you call those things, those remote electrical switches, so you don't have to run the full amount of current. through everything. And like that, that's the pretty much the whole deal. And going back to that filter wrap over here that I was talking about earlier, my camera died when I was talking about this. That's made with double foil, double bubble foil insulation wrap, and that's great, really strong stuff.